The wireless crackled. A distress call. The Titanic. Captain Arthur Rostron of the RMS Carpathia didn't hesitate. He immediately ordered his ship turned towards the stricken liner's reported position. Every furnace roared as the Carpathia steamed through the cold April night. Every knot of speed could mean the difference between life and death for the Titanic's passengers. Rostron understood the urgency. He pushed his ship and his crew, knowing that time was their enemy. Each passing minute brought the Titanic's passengers closer to a freezing demise. The pressure was immense, but Rostron was determined. He would reach the Titanic in time. He had to. The journey was fraught with danger. It was the North Atlantic in early April, after all. The threat of ice was a constant worry, but Rostron navigated carefully, plotting a course he believed would keep his ship safe. Little did he know, fate had a cruel hand to play. A twist of irony awaited them in the icy darkness. A twist that would rewrite history. The pressure to reach the Titanic's location as quickly as possible gnawed at Rostron. He consulted with his officers, studying the charts and the latest ice warnings. A decision was made. They would deviate slightly from their original course. It was a calculated risk, a shortcut that could shave precious time off their journey. The Carpathia steamed ahead into an area known to have icebergs. Rostron believed the risk was acceptable. He trusted his crew, his ship, and his own judgment. Yet, the decision weighed heavily on him. The lives of over 2,000 souls rested on his shoulders. The night was dark, the sea deceptively calm. Lookouts strained their eyes, peering into the blackness, their breath misting in the frigid air. They searched for any sign of danger, any hint of the shimmering mountains of ice that lurked beneath the surface. But the sea, in its vastness, kept its secrets well hidden, until it was too late. A lookout's shout ripped through the night. "Iceberg! Starboard bow!" The warning came too late. The Carpathia, racing against time, had found her own icy fate. The massive iceberg loomed out of the darkness, a white spectre against the Black Sea. The impact was sickening. A grinding, tearing sound echoed through the ship as steel met ice. The Carpathia shuddered, the force of the collision throwing passengers off their feet. Fear, raw and immediate, gripped everyone on board. The unthinkable had happened. Panic surged through the decks. The ship listed sharply, the icy Atlantic water pouring in through the gaping wound in its side. Orders were shouted, but the escalating chaos made them difficult to hear. The Carpathia, the would-be savior, was sinking, and there was no one to save her. News of the Carpathia's sinking spread through the Titanic's lifeboats like a virus. The initial disbelief quickly morphed into soul-crushing despair. They had clung to life, enduring the biting cold and the terror of the open sea, buoyed by the knowledge that rescue was coming. Now, that hope was extinguished. The Carpathia's lights, which had shone so brightly on the horizon, vanished. They were alone, adrift, surrounded by the vast, unforgiving ocean. The lifeboats, once beacons of hope, now felt like fragile coffins bobbing on the waves. Mothers clutched their children tighter, whispering reassurances they themselves no longer believed. Husbands held their wives, their faces etched with a grief too deep for words. The icy fingers of despair tightened their grip. Without the Carpathia, what chance did they have? The Californian, shrouded in the darkness of the night, lay just a few miles away. Her wireless operator had long since gone off duty. The distress rockets launched by the Titanic remained unseen. The pleas for help lost in the ether. A cruel twist of fate had conspired to keep the Californian oblivious to the unfolding tragedy. Even if the Californian had received the Titanic's distress calls, would they have reached them in time? The Californian's captain was hesitant to navigate through icy waters at night. The risk, he believed, was too great. The Californian remained, unknowingly, the closest ship to the Titanic and the now sinking Carpathia. Her presence a painful reminder of what might have been. A missed opportunity for rescue? A silent accusation in the face of unimaginable loss? The world mourned the Titanic, but in this alternate timeline, the grief is compounded. The loss of the Carpathia, a ship synonymous with hope and heroism, deepens the tragedy. The what-if scenarios become even more agonizing. Could the Californian have reached the Titanic in time? Could they have navigated the ice floes, found the lifeboats, and saved those who had already endured so much? Or would they too have succumbed to the unforgiving grip of the icy Atlantic? The questions linger, a haunting reminder of the capricious nature of fate. The sinking of both the Titanic and the Carpathia serves as a stark reminder of the fragility of life at sea and the unforgiving power of the natural world. Without the Carpathia, the survival rate of the Titanic's passengers and crew plummeted. Over 1,500 souls were lost to the icy depths of the Atlantic. The lifeboats, now adrift without hope of rescue, became vessels of despair. The world reeled from the news. The scale of the tragedy was almost incomprehensible. The loss of life, the stories of heroism and sacrifice, and the haunting images of the empty lifeboats reverberated across the globe. The sinking of the Titanic and the Carpathia sent shockwaves through society, forcing a reassessment of maritime safety regulations and the dangers of transatlantic travel. The weight of responsibility for the Titanic and Carpathia disasters would have fallen heavily on the shoulders of the maritime industry. Investigations and inquiries would have been launched, seeking to understand what went wrong and how such a tragedy could have been prevented. The blame game would have been fierce, with shipping companies, shipbuilders, and government regulators all facing scrutiny. The pressure to assign blame, to find someone or something to hold accountable for the unimaginable loss, would have been immense. The world, still reeling from the enormity of the disaster, demanded answers. The search for someone to hold accountable for the loss of the Titanic and the Carpathia would be relentless, fueled by grief, anger, and the desperate need to make sense of the senseless. The loss of the Titanic and the Carpathia left an indelible mark on history. This alternate reality, with its amplified tragedy, serves as a stark reminder of the fragility of life and the unforgiving nature of the sea. The story of the Titanic continues to resonate with people around the world. It is a tale of human hubris, of the dangers of ignoring warnings, and of the courage and resilience of those facing unimaginable circumstances. But in this alternate timeline, the story takes on an even more profound sense of loss. The sinking of both the Titanic and her would-be savior serves as a chilling reminder that even in our darkest hour, hope itself can be extinguished, leaving behind only the cold, hard reality of loss and the enduring question, what if?